I guess we could call this the visions of the future segment. And I don't know, like maybe I had a dream. I don't like, I can't remember where I got this image from, but there's this like a vision, I guess, of a woman, South Asian woman particularly. I guess spent time in South Asia. Maybe that's why the reason is, and that's the one region I can think of when it comes to water scarcity, which is still a problem around like most of the parts of South Asia. Significant, I would think, portion of South Asia happens from other than other parts of the world. Right now, that's a problem in California. But I've had this vision for many years, maybe like a decade more, maybe. And I don't know, it's just kind of comes in my mind sometimes. And this woman is like seeing water for the first time in her life in abundance. And she is so happy. She is so ecstatic. And she is so grateful for this. And I don't know, man. I'm not trying to sound all that, you know, but I think that it's not about my vision or the vision I get or anyone. It's about thinking of the struggles that somebody may be having in some part of the world. And I guess that's really it. That's really it. Maybe I think we should be mindful of these struggles somebody's going through. I think I also need to do more here. I try to be very conscientious. I know there are things I need to definitely improve on, but yeah, I think that not I think I have that vision sometimes, and I'm very fortunate. I live in Ontario. We have abundant access to clean water, thanks to the ice age or the last ice age, which the Great Lakes are the remnants of. But a lot of people in the world who don't have access to clean water, and there are people in Africa right now who are washing their face with cow urine. And I'm not I'm not commenting on that because I don't think I'm being judgmental at all, but that has become like because water is so scarce there, right? And I'm I'm just saying that I guess I was thinking more about like not to I don't want to like steal the thunder and bring it back to myself, but I started thinking this idea is not as crazy, and not to go off topic, or sorry, this is not our core area of focus. Where is my water idea? This is the one, and I've explored this more in a other segment, but so I'm gonna not draw that again, but the idea kind of evolved more so in the format that if this is the ocean, because I don't think doing desal right now is gonna, I think it's gonna mess things up. So there was some kind of a tributary, and then there was a box, and this box would be the synthesis of, or well, not this idea here, whatever this idea represents, this whole idea, this whole thing would be this box, right? And there would be multiple instances of this, and basically there will be tributaries to go back to the ocean, to go back to the ocean. And this would be far away from the inlet side. So creatures could go back to the ocean safely. And then you have something like parts per million. And there should be 0 ppm for some kind of life. There should be no life. Parts per million, parts per billion, however you want to do that. Depends how you measure this. I don't know how you measure that. It's going to be some kind of statistical thing, but I think it should be very concrete. It should be very discrete, in fact. And I don't know this. So yeah, life will go back here. You know, this way you're getting lots of water, and you can then bring the water without life in a lagoon You can recycle it. Sorry, separate the water from the salt, and that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. So I'm not going to do an exhaustive thing here. Let's go back here. Let's save this image. Annotate. But yeah, I do get that vision. What's happening? And it'd be pretty phenomenal if everyone on Earth had access to clean water in abundance. And I believe there's a way to do this sustainably without wrecking the oceans. And I think we'll have to do something like this anyways, because I'll pose a question. I'll pose a question like, what if the climate change suddenly and rapidly? What if you don't have 80 years? What if it happened in like months? Whatever the projections were for the next 30, 40, 50 years are happening in the next 2 months. So society will have to adapt to something like that. And other than hauling water from Europa, uh, which I don't even know is fresh water. I don't know. It's most probably salt water. Um, I don't think the glaciers and stuff like that is a good idea. I don't know actually. Which is going to cause more climate change. This is just one of the many ideas. Um, Another idea is this is in the domain of mega engineering. I haven't thought about this at all, but okay, this would be another idea, but I'm going to share it. But if this was ground level, if this is the ground, right? Something like that. This is another idea. This is not documented this idea previously, but this is in the domain of mega engineering. So there would be some kind of a funnel, and you would capture the groundwater falling and store it in underground canals. There'd be underground canals. There would be underground canals. I don't know how all of this will work from this perspective of structural stability. But that's just like your heliogen is a combination of a lot of these catch basins or kettles or whatever you want to call them. You will have a lot of these funnels basically, and you would have maybe millions of these funnels, right? And you put them over wherever you get rain, and you collect the water. Then you build these underground canals, and you have the water flow through the canal. The problem is if the water is stagnant, it's going to collect mildew, and then fungi and other things are going to happen here. It cannot. The water definitely cannot be stagnant. The other thing that cannot happen is this thing cannot be moisture. It cannot be moist all the time. So what could happen is you could build like, so imagine you have some funnels like this, right? I don't know, this is like crazy, another crazy idea. This actually just hit me right now. And maybe listening to the music from the 90s has something to do with it. I'm just saying. Uh, Anyways, so what if you had like thousands of these, or maybe millions, right? I don't know what you'll have to do the math in order to figure out what the scale of something like this is. But what if, what, like, I didn't think I was going to share more ideas about this right now, but might as well just go with the flow. No pun intended. As you know, flow water too, Toronto based. It looks like they were on some kind of. I didn't look into that, but okay, let's come back here. So is it raining? Raining. Woo! Right? Rain, 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 rain. Don't go to Spain. stay here. Okay, let's be serious. And so the rain falls, the rain falls, collect the rain, right? Collect the rain. Now this canal is actually not going to be straight. Here's why. We'll share in a second. This thing can be like that, but the canal should be on an incline, I think, something like that. It can actually be. You can make it out of earth, working materials, right? Something like that. It would be at an incline. So you just use this gravity for the flow of water. What you can actually do is put a little kind of turbine here. I don't know if there's any organic material. There's organic material in the clouds. I don't know if there's organic material in the rain. And what is the implication of something like that? I don't think you want to do this on a massive scale and rely on this as the only water source. But I guess you could put some kind of a turbine here at the end and get it to generate um, some that didn't work. Some energy at the same time, and then you basically have um, different colors here. Then you have water flowing, right? Water flowing here, through here, and then you now this is one part of the idea. This is literally I haven't thought about this. Right, I've actually just thought about it right now. So now the catch basin. The catch basin would, in this case, be a reservoir of some sort. That doesn't have to be any different. So instead of filling from like wherever the tributaries generally come in into the reservoir, I guess you could. I don't know how the fluid I don't know how this will work. So maybe you can make this a little elevated from the ground, so it just kind of flows in, or maybe it fills up from the bottom. So I don't know. That's not trivial. My main concern is organic material. If it falls in rain, I don't know if it does. But you could. So if this represented a sample size, you were like zooming in. So then, so this image is already saved. So let's just clear everything out. Then what you could do is, this is not talking to bacteria at this point. This is a new idea. So, but this could be another idea in the domain of water abundance. So whatever I just like showed right now, that's like looks something like this, right? Different colors now. So it looks something like this, right? And then you go into a reservoir of sorts, and there's like a turbine here or something. So this would now be across like all of this. Can I select here? Oh yeah, you can select. That's pretty good. Okay, and you can copy it. And paste it. Hmm. It's the weird idea. How do you do it? I haven't never copied and pasted something. It doesn't seem to be working. But imagine this was all over the place now, right? So whatever this represents, it was here and 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 here. Okay, you scale it up, and instead of the canal here, obviously you will have it something like ideas can change the world. I'm not saying my ideas are going to change the world. I, I hope they do for the better for everyone. But what I am saying is somebody should build up on this idea. So now the lagoon or some kind of canal would emerge here. You can make it circular or triangular, whatever is easier to maintain. Now you have a lagoon, right? Depending on the rain, this can serve, I don't know, X number of people. You can start implementing this in California right now, elsewhere. So this would be the two, segment two of presenting this idea. Now, I was talking about the mildew, right? And I don't even know what mildew means. I just heard somebody else say that. I think it's like stuff that starts growing. It's not really much like mushroomy, but it's like yeah, it's like the patches of that black or brown stuff that grow when some places moist. I think that's what mildew is. I'm not sure, but basically, one of us don't want stuff to grow here, right? And what are the best sanitizers? Sunlight, based on what we know. So this is would be idea number three. Let me make sure I just saved this again. This is what I do. So this construct, actually, you know what? I'm going to reuse some of this. Actually, I can keep that as well. And yeah, these are all here, right? But what happens is because if you build them in rows or in modules or something like that, then what you can do is you can just flip this model. Literally flip this thing here. Flip these things. Flip these things. Flip these things. These things. Flip them. Flip them. Build them in a module, 3 in a pack or 4 in a pack, whatever. Put a simple construct there with a timer. And that timer knows not just you don't flip that while the waves happen, but there's a couple of things here. Lagoons full or redirect the water to another. But the thing is mildew. Sun is out, it's not raining. Let's flip these out. Let's flip them out every couple of hours or every couple of days, like I don't know. Depends what you want to do. And don't make this out of plastic. Okay? That's one thing. Don't make it out of earthen materials. Make it out of silica. Don't make it out of cement even. Just make it out of like silica, right? Make it as natural as possible. And then what you do is you just flip these up. You flip them up. And what you now will have is something. Nope, I don't want that. I want this. Actually, I want that one. So now you will have something that looks like this, right? You will have an inverted funnel on these, right? Even better, split it up in half and open it up like a bud or a flower. So because the sunlight is not going to go through this funnel, but if you open it up and it opens up like this, and then this component itself opens up like that. So it's completely flat, almost completely flat. And then you let it let the sun sanitize it. And then you flip it and then you sanitize that. Then what you do is when you flip all of these, so imagine you have like them in a group here, right? When you flip it again, I don't know, I can keep doing this, but so you have the three here, 1, 2, 3, right? So what you then do is you move this over here, somewhere over here on the side. So you give spaces between the modules. So then you move this on the side, right? And then you open up the ground. You open up the ground. You open up the ground. And the whole canal that was down, you bring it up somewhere out in the open. It's like Tetris, you play the Tetris, and you open the canal up. So now the canal is getting sanitized. So this is my short idea of the day because there's water scarcity happening in it. The water scarcity is appearing, and I don't know what's going to happen with the climate. I mean, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. I'm not, my comment should not be taken out of consideration. I don't have a crystal ball or anything like that. But I'm just saying, if the climate changes rapidly, or you know, even if the climate doesn't change rapidly, people need water right now, and I don't think desal is the way to go. particularly based on a very rudimentary amount of research that I've done on that topic. That I've already shared my thoughts on that. Where's that? Where's that thing? Where is it? Um, Water security and building up on the set of ideas from 0607. And the 0607 idea is this one. The 0607 idea, as I think about it, it makes more sense. Because if you can indeed talk to simpler life forms, that would be actually very beneficial for humans. And I think somebody should focus on this. It seems like a pretty big opportunity. Because right now you can do bacteria to do a whole bunch of things. You can get it to make insulin. You can make it ingest perishable foods and turn them into plastics. You can get them to simple life form to spit out certain dyes or chemical, sorry, essences. Companies working on that. That's my based on my limited like understanding. That's not really talking to them. They're like specific kind of genes you can like insert in some organism. That's what we've been doing with genetics, I guess. It's one of the things we do. But I'm not talking about CRISPR or anything. I don't know like how this is going to be. It's going to be some sonar, some electromagnetic pulse. I'm not saying shock them. I'm saying talk to them. Say, hey, can you go like through this channel, like tributary back to the ocean so we can get some water? Or you don't have to do it like this. You I don't know how. Like I don't like I'm not going to expand on that. But this is not for the salt water. This is for rain. Rain is falling. I'm just curious, how much rain does the Sahara receive? Rain by or rain quantity Australian desert. Rain quantity Australian desert. 250 millimeters. Is that per inch? What does that mean? Okay. Oh, okay. I think I'm finding some data here, so let's go back here. So looks like there's more rain here and less rain here, right? But what are we looking for, like at in terms of numbers? So I'm not saying run a canal all the way from here. I mean, somebody wants to do that. That would be a long distance. I don't know. I didn't think of the distances or scale or anything, but I wasn't thinking of something beyond the span of maybe a kilometer and a half, and you build those kind of things in modules, right? Depending on again where you have higher likelihood of getting rain. You could also build it again. There's modular is a favorite theme of mine, I guess. If you build modularly and the patterns are changing, you just move the whole thing where you want it. Oh, it looks like the pattern changed. Look at this. So mid early to mid 70s, 73 to 76, the pattern was like this. And now it's shifted westward. It seems like, I don't know where the data from the 80s is, but it seems to be shifting westward, right? And this area, instead of being very, like not getting any, oh, sorry, it was getting some rain before, but now it's not getting any rain. That's interesting. but that's 20 years ago. I wonder what a pattern looks like now, right? Does it continue moving westward or evapotranspiration? What does that mean? Hmm. Wow, that's a beautiful image, even though it's pretty arid. I wonder what form the structure is. Is it just the tectonic activity? Wow. Anyway, this is my short idea for the day. It kind of like it's kind of like a heliogen idea, but for water. And I wish to see that day, man, going back to what I started with, when everyone has access to clean water. When I was living in Pakistan, we had to get water from the tanker. You'd actually have to literally pay money to get a big tank of water. It'd come in a truck at the back of the truck, like you wet water, and they would. So in Pakistan, you have these tanks in every house. Like, sorry, there's a container that's built. Most of the houses built out of cement. So the water from the tank, that's what it's called, the truck, is transferred to the local repository, and then you have a machine which pumps the water to the rooftop. So there's another tank in the rooftop. The water in most of the neighborhoods, I don't think so. Maybe things have changed now in 20 years, but the water is not pumped from a primarily just from the central pumping station. Yes, yes, that happens too. That's how the water comes in, and that's one line coming in going into your tank. But if that's not happening for whatever reason, the river is dry, wherever the water's coming from, then you get the water. I don't know how they get the water. What the source of the tankers would be. I'm not going to speculate on the details. Maybe somebody just turns the tap on so other sites can make money. I don't know. I'm not speculating that. But yeah, it was common to get the water from the tank. And that's how you pump it to the local repository and then pump it up to uh, the tank on the rooftop. Houses are made out of concrete. That's another issue. So if an earthquake or something happens, that would be quite bad. I think. I'm not sure. Not to mention the carbon. There's a fair bit of carbon required to make a concrete. But I think water security is a big problem, or just lack of clean water. And that was the vision. And these are the Creative Commons images. And it looks like these are real images, man. A lot of people getting water for the first time. I don't think we should drink water from the plastic bottles. My daughter living with my ex-wife, these guys drink a lot of the bottled waters. I keep encouraging them not to do that. Just get a filter, um, because this is this has microplastic particles in them, which are not good for humans. That's my understanding. I want to be educated. Somebody's got to show me the sample directly when I open a bottle with my eyes, and I get that sample myself from the store under the microscope. And yeah, I think we should pay attention to this. What do you got? Yale, Brett, created for bring water to India. Solar power water ATMs. Remote version. It looks like what's it? You put the computer in the wall. Yeah. Um, mhm. Franchising this. In Delhi, 40% of square footage in a slum household is being used to store water. Same thing I was talking about, concrete, maybe it's not underground in this case, some kind of a ground level water tanks. I wish they put pictures in articles like this, but that's not a criticism. That would be nice. So that's the other thing is, I think I read somewhere that making swimming pools in Iraq had a direct correlation with reduction in violence. I could be wrong about this. They did a couple of things there, right? I didn't study the Iraq war extensively at all, but one of the things was breaking the merchants. There was something to do with the merchants being in close proximity, and then something happened. That close cluster proximity meant the violence spread very rapidly. That's one thing. There was some kind of thing happened there. The other thing was actually having swimming pools in neighborhoods. There was, I think, I could be wrong about both of these. There was a direct correlation with significant reduction in violence as a result of getting a working swimming pool there. It didn't have to be a luxurious swimming pool like this, but it like something basic, clean, sanitary conditions had a direct correlation. So once the water abundance power, I mean, I'm not saying that, like, I'm not picking on that one thing, but people are very happy in the swimming pool. I've noticed this in general, and I don't know what it is about the water, like water in a swimming pool in particular. There's something amazing, like you gotta have the lifeguards and safety measures obviously there, but you know you gotta maintain it and keep it clean. But yeah, I was just thinking that. Okay, okay, I will. I was actually thinking if there was some kind of a Marshall Plan for parts of the Middle East now and in the future, then things like this could be provision, should be provision in terms of water, powering water abundance in a sustainable way. And these are some sort of ideas to help with water security, and I hope others build up on it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.